Are you supposed to be here? Fuck it. Come here, let me show you something. We got another one. Man, nothing stops these fucking clowns. This bozo named Jack and his sidekick Ellie. No worries though. I'll have them planted on the wall soon enough. For the time being, follow me. Let me show you something.
We're really nervous. Like,
yeah, for some fucking
reason. But I know the reason. We're nervous. Before we start recording, we were like talking about how nervous we are. It's mostly because we're very private. Like, our lives are extremely private, and us doing this is very counteractive to how we live.
It's a bit hard.
Exactly, especially this episode, because this episode has a specific topic. A very old friend of mine contacted me recently and wanted me to talk about how our lives transitioned from moving out of a certain place we lived in and into Europe, where there's obviously a lot more freedom, and how that affected our lives. And Ali and I have similar stories, similar experiences, but not exactly the same.
Obviously.
So yeah, we'll dive into that, and that's why we're nervous.
Yeah, so I was like silent, and then he's like, "Why am I nervous?" And I thought I was the only one that was nervous. So like, now I'm less nervous because you're nervous as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I knew you were nervous too. But before I said when it was really silent, because I know you're usually like, active and stuff. But like when you were silent and I'm silent as well, I'm like, nah, there's something going on.
Cold feet. Okay, so where do we start? From the beginning?
I guess.
Is it the why or the how?
I guess we'll do both. We'll give a bit of context first as to how we grew up. Or where. Right? Yeah. So, do you want to go first or should I?
Yes, brother. I come from the mountains.
That's a great intro.
Yeah, I come from the mountain. No, so I'm Albanian, like we said it in the first episode, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it was partially like in the city and in like my grandfather's house, which is in the mountains. I say the mountains, but it's like a village. It's a village on a mountain. That's
Yeah.
Because the mountains, like in Albania, are very mountainy.
Very mountainy indeed.
You cannot live there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
So, so the dad of my mother, so my other grandfather, you say that?
Yeah.
He did literally live like in the mountains. We had to like walk for like 4 hours after a bus ride that took 2 hours to get to the house.
Damn.
Yeah. And I was like fucking 4 and I did that shit, it's fucking hiking and shit. It's
but
nice.
it was normal to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. It was pretty normal.
And
now, if I were to do it today, I feel like I'd be like, it's okay,
I guess that's one of the effects of moving here.
Yeah, you get more comfortable, I guess.
Yeah. And how long did you stay there for?
No, so we used to go from time to time to my uh uncle. I call him uncle, but he's like granddad.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Like he's
So rest in peace.
yeah. So we used to go from time to time when we moved to the city. But yeah, there it was really nice. Like I used to love to go there because he had all this like animals and shit. I used to hear wolves at night, and
Wolves.
it was really nice. Yeah. Used to, like, sometimes they'd come close to the house, like start howling. There's this crazy story, bro.
Okay.
When I was there, so I was one day. We all went there, like with my mom, and because so he had to go and vote in the city, yeah, because it was voting season. And he was gone. Basically, all like the adult men were gone, and I was in the fields, like with the sheep, and fucking they all went like around this bush. We had like 16 or so, like around 16, 20 sheep. They all went around this bush,
One bush.
Yeah, one bush.
Okay.
Because sheep, like when they see something, they're like super curious, and they all went looking to the bush. Bro, motherfucker, this fucking like 3 wolves jumped out the fucking bush. They fucking, you know where they go? Like the wolves, they're fucking smart, bro. They go grab where how do you say this? The boobs.
The boobs.
The boobies.
Yeah.
They grab that, they rip it open, and all the organs fall out. And they're super slowed down, the sheep, so they just leave it and go to the other one and do the same to as much as possible, and then they just kill them one by one because they can't run anyway.
Hey, you witnessed the shit at a young age.
Like I was like fucking 4, 5, 6, something like this. But I remember it, and I fucking ran. And our neighbor guy was there. He didn't go to, because he was like 16, 17. And I told him, and it was all this whole drama and shit. It was so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was always then scared to go to that field.
Of course.
Because I used to chill to this big tree, this big cherry tree. And one time I was like walking there, and I saw this, because we had a really big dog. And I thought it was our dog, because our dog was gray and huge. And I saw it, and I'm like, oh, whatever. And then I forgot this little hatchet that I always used to take with me. So I was fucking psycho, I used to like to take sticks and make it like pointy. Oh, I'm like, I forgot it. And I go back and I see our dog at the house. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. No, I guess, yeah, it wasn't our dog, obviously. It was a fucking wolf. They're huge, bro. They're like thick,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. And when did you move to Europe?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that. So, I moved to Europe, like, when I was like around 11 or 12 years old. But like Albania and like these countries like that, like the corrupt and like like these poor countries, they make you grow up fast, So when I came here, and I was still like 11 years, I was a real like a kid, but you really feel the difference,
Yeah.
of how the people are here, and the way they take everything so like casually and stuff. And even though I was super young, I had to adapt to that,
Yeah.
And once you like grow a bit older, 15, 16, 17, like that, then you actually realize like the state you were living in, and that does something with you as well. So you have to try and cope with that and adapt again to your surroundings here, and like make yourself in the beginning be grateful first of all, that you were able to make this change to come here. And second of all, to not like feel like this sense of guilt that you're not in your like home country and blah blah blah, like all this shit, you know?
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
like leaving your country, I don't know.
So your
For
first
some people,
impression was the people, how different they were.
Yeah.
Did you like it, or it was just weird?
It was weird I used to get until I turned like 16, 17, like since I was like since I used to get in a lot of fights here. Just because of the way how they play and like how they say stuff so casually, you know?
Yeah.
I beat this kid up because he was talking bad about his mother.
His
like
own
how
mother.
how can you say that about your mother, you know?
Yeah.
And then I realized that the relationship between like parents and kids here is way different and not as how do you say this?
As intense,
as close, or here obviously they are more open with each other, like parents and kids, but there's no discipline, you know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like my mother does not need to know everything I do, because like if she did, she like would be disappointed, you know? You know what I mean?
There's a blind trust factor.
Yes. So as long as I'm doing everything and I'm being safe and not disappointing her and doing what she wants, I mean, we're good, you know?
Yeah.
She doesn't need to know all those other factors.
I understand.
And I feel like this openness or whatever, and the parents saying, oh, my kids can do whatever they want, blah blah, and letting them do whatever they want, because like that the kids will communicate with them. Like you lose a sense of respect as well between each other, I feel like.
Yeah, I tend to agree, because I've seen it happen. I mean, yeah, the longer you live here, the more you notice that a lot of adults and people in general just completely lose contact with their parents, which is crazy, because in our culture that's unheard of. Like if you lose contact with your parents, first of all, there's this thing where you need to, like, you're obliged to visit family members and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's the right thing to do. If you're not doing it, then you'll always be the black sheep in the family.
You want to hear something crazy? I'm interrupting you, but so I know this. So my mother works in a how do you say old people house?
Like a nursing home.
Nursing home,
I think.
Yeah, a nursing home, and this old person died, and it was a Tuesday. Tuesday, yeah. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It was a Thursday, sorry.
Okay.
And they called the kids and they're like, oh, we are working. We can't come until the weekend. Brother, like...
Okay. That's comically fucked up.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is where, like, when having no mutual respect, this is where it gets you.
Yeah. That's sad, actually. That's,
yeah.
You know, the amount of sacrifice, like, probably in his last moments, all he was thinking about was his family.
Probably.
Right? And the sad part is, they didn't even respect him enough to be around him at that time. Damn. But then again, how many good excuses can you come up with to skip work?
Brother, it wasn't their excuse of not showing was that they were working until the weekend. They didn't even think, bro, you don't have to have an excuse to leave work for 2 days that's not an excuse. You say my fucking parents, one of my parents died. I have to go to the nursing home to take their corpse, and bury it.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. Like, if they were hungover, they would find an excuse to not go to work. This is a pretty solid one. Like, this is a solid reason to be able to skip work, I would say, and they still couldn't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
this is a big cultural difference. Obviously, I'm talking about Belgian people. There's all different nationalities or like
cultures.
How do you say cultures that live in Belgium? But when I'm talking about this, I mean my experiences like with Belgian people.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I got into fights more, it was more like with Moroccans and Turkish guys. Because a lot of them are like born here, and they like to throw like cuss words in their language and shit.
Yeah.
And I wasn't used to that,
Yeah, they think there's no repercussions for anything.
Yeah. Because they talk like that with their friends and they get away with it, and that's like a toxic way of having conversation. You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
Yeah. Well, to give a bit of context to international listeners or people that don't know what we're talking about, there are a lot of foreigners in these countries in Europe, but mostly they're either born here or they moved here at a young age. Yeah. So they pick up actually pretty quickly on how easygoing everything is, right? And people can say whatever they want and stuff. But when these foreigners pick up these things, they forget one thing. Like, if you're going to talk like that, you need to also understand that people can talk to you that way as well, right? So if you're going to talk shit to someone can talk shit to you. But if you're not going to pick up the part where you let your ego or pride aside, and if you're going to enjoy your freedom of speech, let's say, and you can't accept someone talking back to you, you get pissed, and then you start a fight, that's, it's not normal here. Here you can say whatever the fuck you want, but doing something physically is out of the question. It's almost a bizarre thing here. So I had similar stories. When I first came here, I also got into a lot of fights, because similarly, what I just explained, I did as well. Right? I actually didn't talk much. I wouldn't talk shit. I barely cussed people out, because to me, I had already learned that like people aren't worth, my time and attention. But I can imagine you moved to Belgium at a young age, so you did have time for everyone.
Well, yeah, like 11. I was 11.
So, yeah. I can imagine you would get into a lot of fights.
But it did take a while to make that switch. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Did you say it's tougher for a foreign kid to adjust? Like, if you put it as a timeline, a kid that is from here or grew up here or is born here versus a foreigner that just has to start adjusting, you think it takes that much longer for them to settle into the society?
No, look, I think that kids or like adults that move here and are not coming here for bad work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, some people come here just to make money and leave. Some people come here to live.
Yeah.
If you come here to live, I feel like that kids and adults, like, it's way easier to adjust here than is it as if I would take my kids and go now to Albania to live, or like Morocco, or like wherever, It's way harder to adjust in those countries, because I feel like when it's when more things are acceptable and it's easy, then it's easier to adjust,
Yeah.
But if the lifestyle is harder. Obviously, it's way harder to
adjust. Yeah,
to adjust. Yeah. So coming here is I think it's easy, but to make that switch first, to realize that, like, as an adult, you know that you come here because it's safer and you can let your guard down, you know. But as a kid, you don't know this. If you had your guard up already, and if nobody tells you, it's really hard to know by yourself, you know, to make the switch.
Yeah.
And then when you realize, it's easy from then on. That's how it was for me, at least.
Oh yeah, I agree. Because in our countries, for example, we have like hidden rules, like things that you learn from mistakes or witnessing mistakes, right? You see someone doing something wrong, and then they get dealt with, and you're like, oh shit, I should probably not do that. But then you move here, and everything is very clear and visible. Actually, they literally say it to your face all the time, like how we live here. This is what's normal. This is what's not normal. Everything here is so clear. So
when you come here, you have to take an integration course. If you're old, if you're like older, not as a kid because you just go to school, but as an adult, there's obliged, like you have to do.
Yeah.
There is a course that you have to do. It takes like 2 or 3 weeks, I think, and it's just all the rules and the way of living here and what you could expect and how you are expected to behave for stuff to be easier for you. Yeah, and it's in your language. It's in your own language.
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
that's so interesting.
It's called an integration course. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, but it's within the first month or 2 or 3 that you come here, you go to one of those courses. Yeah, and you cannot have your Belgian papers, or you cannot go to schools or courses or work if you didn't do that. Yeah, because a lot of people, you know, that come here, I'm not talking about like the Turkish and like, you know, I'm talking about people that come from war, and if they are born into it, obviously it's you don't know nothing else. So when you come here, for everything to be more clear and easy for you, you have a lot of places where you can go, and you don't have to search for it. They literally say you should go here, it's gonna be good for you. You have to do it, obviously, but they suggest it to you.
My story is very similar, almost. Actually, no. The difference is, for me, it was very weird. I'll give context. So I was born in the Netherlands. I was raised here for 3 years, and then my family moved to Nigeria, and we lived there for about 9 months, and we almost got murdered. So I swear to God.
Alright, my bad.
Apparently, and there were fires everywhere, right? This is just stories that I heard from my mom. I'm not.
How old were you?
I was only 3. Turning 4.
If you were 4, you would have remembered.
I do remember Egypt. So after that, we moved to Egypt.
And you were 4 in Egypt.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro, it's weird. From age 4, you remember shit.
I remember glimpses, yeah. I remember images. It's not like full memories, but I remember stuff.
Yeah.
I have one memory from Nigeria. There's this like big ass lizard, right?
It's called dragon lizard.
I actually don't know what it's called, and I never searched it up or anything. But it was big. It was kind of cute. Like, it wasn't one of those, like, you know, like scaly shits. It was, I don't know what it was. It was in our garden. And I have to clarify that my father is, you know, well off, I guess, financially. So when we were in Nigeria, we were in this big house. And then when he felt like our life was being threatened, he moved us to Egypt, and he continued his work. We stayed in Egypt for 6 months, and then he said it was too crowded, and he couldn't live there. He couldn't drive there. Egypt is apparently hell, or like on the streets at least. And it was too hot and stuff. But apparently my mom really loved Egypt. She would prefer Egypt over even Morocco. To give a bit more context. My mom is from Morocco and my father's also Moroccan, but he went to the Netherlands when he was, I think, 5 years old. So he was fully integrated into the Dutch
lifestyle.
Yeah. And he studied there. His first language was Dutch. He was practically Dutch. There's almost zero traits of Moroccan culture in him. And my mom's quite the opposite, right? She learned French and Moroccan, and she's a psychiatrist. Everything she's done in Morocco and around there. And her going to the Netherlands after marrying my father was a bit weird for her. She couldn't learn the language. I don't know. She says that the French and the Dutch languages they just don't coincide. I don't know how the Belgians do it, but she couldn't learn the Dutch language. Up till today, she can't, and she refuses to. She hates it. She tries sometimes, but she gave up pretty much. After Egypt, we moved to Saudi Arabia, and that's where I spent the majority of my childhood and my adolescence. I grew up there. I learned my first language was English. I learned English from when I was in the Netherlands, actually. And I went to an English school and everything. And I was kind of sheltered, to be honest, because I lived in a compound, right, with other international people, and there were barely any Saudis where I lived. And my school had international students, barely any Saudis, actually no Saudis. And I didn't have a space or somewhere where I could meet Saudi people until I was about 13. We moved out of the compound because there was a terrorist attack, and the compound I lived in got blown up, and we were there. I witnessed some fucked up shit, but there was a terrorist attack and everyone was forced to move out, and that compound just went out of business, obviously, because it wasn't as safe as they advertised it to be, because there were guards everywhere with the licensed guns, and they had full authority to do everything to stop what happened. And these guys just showed up on pickup trucks with RPGs, and they just blew out the compound walls and went in. Sounds like Rust, what the fuck? But yeah, that's really what happened. Then they started RPGing a bunch of houses. Just randomly, they didn't have any targets in mind. They just went in.
And then you moved to the Netherlands.
No. We stayed in the same city, in the same country. We just moved inwards into the city. We were living on the outskirts of the city, because that's where...
So the city was safer than the compound?
So the idea was, at least this is what my dad figured, right? It was true, though. These compounds had a lot of... we'll just call them rich, right? They were rich foreign people. There were a lot of ministers, a lot of foreign secretaries, and there were a lot of ambassadors that lived there with their kids and family and stuff. So these terrorists, they hate the idea of foreigners. They hate the idea of the West. They just want Islam.
Yeah.
But technically we are from the Netherlands. We have Dutch passports because I was born there, my dad too. And when my mom married my dad, she also got a Dutch passport. So we all had Dutch passports. We lived there among the others, but we're also from a Muslim country. And there were others. There were Turkish people there as well. There are other Muslims that live there.
Yeah.
So my dad figured that these terror attacks were always going to happen in those areas because it's specifically targeted towards foreigners. So his idea was, okay, I need to keep my job here. We'll just move to the city in a building that has all types of people, right? He realized that keeping his family protected from the Saudi culture was a horrible idea. It backfired. So, when I was about 8, around the time that my little sister was born, we moved to this apartment building. And that was my first time interacting with like other people, like Saudis. And at first, bro, they were aggressive as fuck. Like it wasn't even close. I was a nice kid, right? And I was polite and I was mannered and stuff. They had nothing, right? And I'm not saying the whole population of Saudi Arabia is like that. I'm just saying kids, at least the ones that I had experience with back then, they were fucking little monsters, dog. I swear to God, they had no regard for anything.
Oh, they were kids.
Yeah. But also, like as a kid, you'd still know there's some things that were wrong in their head. I think this is a reflection of how their parents' lifestyle is, or their father's lifestyle was, at least, is that they don't care about anything. Right? So they reflect off their father and then live, or at least aspire to be like them. So they didn't give a shit, bro. And they used to bully the fuck out of me. And I used to always avoid them. So even if even when I did have the option to, to mingle with Saudis and stuff, it never happened back then because I was too scared. They scared me. But then around the time I was 13, that's when I started like developing my character, my personality and stuff.
Growing.
Pretty much. But no, the reason I said developing my character is because I realized my strong points, and where I stand my ground and where I back off. Because I used to get into a lot of fights in school. I realized that I was almost viewed as a bully, but I never actually bullied anyone. Mostly I would stand my ground. If someone would do something to, let's say, my younger brother, or say something to me that I didn't like, or say something about my mother or some shit, I would fucking, charge. But if someone's just making a stupid joke or whatever, then I just ignore them. And when I started realizing, okay, what I'm okay with, what I'm not okay with, then I started integrating myself into society over there. Right? I'd go out to the malls more, and I'd visit some of my friends' houses, and they lived with other Saudis, so their friends I would also meet. And by the time I was 15, maybe even 14, I was fully integrated into the Saudi society. I was damn near Saudi myself. I acted like them, dressed like them, ate like them. I did everything the same exact way.
Okay.
And it was like most people would think I am Saudi.
Okay, how did that work when you moved back to Morocco?
I never moved to Morocco.
How?
So I pretty much just grew up there. But then when I was 17, a lot of shit happened. We moved to the Netherlands. This is what the biggest fucking
change? Or?
Yeah, it was a tremendous change for me, because by the time I was 17, I had already expected my life to end in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah.
I expected that I would live my life there entirely. Like I wouldn't even travel. I would travel out for vacations occasionally, but I thought this is where, like, I created my whole future in my head to be in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And to suddenly be forced to move out because of some laws. So in Saudi Arabia, you're not allowed to stay in the country if your father or whoever's representing you isn't there.
Oh, shit. Okay. But if you are 18, it's different or no?
No, it's not. Because unless you have a Saudi passport, which I didn't, because if I wanted a Saudi passport, I had the option to, but I had to give up my Dutch one. But it's not the smartest thing to do, obviously. Yeah, so we were never willing to give up the Dutch passport. Yeah. Sorry. we moved to the Netherlands, bro. Similar experience to yours. People were so different, right? I'm used to savages. I was part of them too, right? I'm not gonna talk shit about them because honestly, there are perks to it. Most people look at it especially people here, they look at it as a bad thing, but it was for survival over there. Yeah. If you wanted to live a different life, I'll give you an example. In Saudi Arabia, dating, for example, a love life was non-existent. Unless...
Who needs a love life when you got your boys, huh?
but that was the fucked up part. Because Saudi Arabia, although it's a Muslim country, had a lot of gay people.
Oh.
But like prison gay. Not, I choose who I want to love type of gay. Right? And it was bad, bro. Because men would live their whole lives without ever seeing a woman. Other than on the screen, obviously. And it's very common. That's the problem. But for me, I didn't want to live that life. I would never want to be the guy that never, ever got pussy. That made no sense to me. and the thing is, so...
And that's when you said I'm moving to the Netherlands.
No.
Because I was just like, pussy made you move.
No, I had experience already. When I went to Morocco on vacation and stuff, and I traveled to other countries as well, I met girls and I got pussy, but never in Saudi Arabia. But that was the country I lived in. So that was going to be a problem for me. So to combat that, I had to pretty much... I had to become exactly the person, like, how can I explain this? Like, the people that I saw that were savages, and they were just too... How do I say this? How do I say this without offending people? Like, they were so... Let's just say... Okay, yeah, that's close enough. Okay? They don't give a fuck about cops, right? They don't give a fuck about anything. Let's just put it that way. And they disregard everything. They disregard rules. And some of them are fucked up because they disregard even how a woman feels, which is bad because there are a lot of them that are like rapists and shit. They turn out to be rapists and stuff. So fuck them. I never wanted to be like that, but I understood that they were onto something low key, like just a little bit, because when you start getting into confrontations with the cops, especially like the religious cops back there, you understood that they couldn't do everything. They don't have intelligence. It's by luck. If they catch you doing something wrong, they caught you, but they don't, let's say, track you or know where these guys are going to be or where there's going to be a party, let's say.
Yeah.
Like if there's a party filled with mixed genders, so mixed gender parties and compounds and stuff, they wouldn't know where they were happening. They'd just guess. They'd like suddenly raid a compound and hope that there was a party. So the chances of you getting caught were actually kind of low, right? And once you figure these things, you figure out, as I said before, like by mistake. It's not written. No one tells you these things. You just figure it out with time, with experience. You understand that, okay, like everything's chill. And after that, when I started like realizing, okay, I'm just gonna risk it. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck about the cops and shit. I got a lot of pussy. I lived my life. That we did like drugs. We drank alcohol. We found all types of things that are strictly prohibited in Saudi Arabia. So I changed my life around even back then. I refused to like live how all the others lived. And for me to become that person, it took a certain level of ruthlessness. But then when I moved to the Netherlands, bro, it was like a skill that was wasted. Because none of that exists.
The thing is,
everything. What?
The thing is, it's not like it's gone, Like we are chill. But I know if I had to, I could turn it back on, It's not like all that experience and shit, it's wasted.
I thought that. When I realized that? When I was with you in Belgium. Remember when that happened? The guy at the fucking store?
the racist guy.
Yeah. Well, to give a bit of context of the story, me and Ellie were just roaming around at night. We found a night shop.
We're getting cigarettes, I think, for what was it? No. I don't know what we were buying, actually.
Snacks, something.
Yeah.
And
I went in alone to get it. You were outside.
I was chilling outside. And this guy thought I was, I think, Indian or something. And the owner of the store is Indian himself. And then he kept saying something. He looked at me and then looked at the guys like, "Oh, is this your security guard? All of you, you're a pack of Indians or something. It's your Indian leader or whatever." And this was years after I moved to Netherlands, by the way. And I moved to Belgium. At that time, I was living in Belgium.
Yeah, we were living together, no?
Yeah. And I ignored it, honestly. At first, it did bother me, but I'm like, fuck this guy. We walked away, and that's when I realized, okay, if it was me from when I was, 4 years ago or something, this guy would be eating cement right now, but it's not the same anymore. And as we were walking away, I was telling Ellie, because he bought his shit, we walked away, I was telling Ellie, bro, this fucking guy, some racist shit, right? And he's like, "What do you mean?" Like, he made some stupid comments. And Ellie's like, "You want to go back?" And then that's when that happened, that switch you talked about.
It's always there. It's always there, bro.
I didn't realize, but at that moment,
the thing is, I have the same thing. Like if it were to happen to me, I would just let it slide. It bothered me because it happened to you when you were with me.
Yeah,
that's what bothered me. Because I don't care if somebody tells me go back to your country, or like you fucking Albanian drug dealer. Like I don't give a shit about this if it's to me. But the fact that it was to you, I'm like, this motherfucker.
Yeah. The moment he said let's go back, I'm like, yeah, fuck you, let's go back. And
I will always remember the sentence. This guy is like, it's like to him. This guy told Jack, "Yo, why you come up to me like this? Do you know who I am?" Jack is like, "Yeah, I know who you are. Do you know who I am?" He's like, "No. That's why you should be afraid, motherfucker." I was like, "Yo, where the fuck does he get this from?" I'm like, this fucking guy, bro. And then he was like, I'm like, and then I was just like squared up. I was ready. Like I was letting him talk, Because when I'm mad, I start talking Albanian. And I was just like waiting there for him like to move. But he had his drink and he was just holding his drink and like not moving,
Yeah. Now, after I said that line that you said, he started really calming down. He softened his voice, like, "I'm sorry," and stuff.
He's like, "It wasn't meant like that. I was joking, blah, blah." But this guy was a big dude, man.
Didn't matter to me, bro. I was ready.
It wasn't like that, but like probably that's why he was acting like all tough and shit. Probably was it was at least 190. Like I had to look up to look at him.
No, me too. I was threatening him and I was looking up. That was a weird situation.
Yeah. I was like inching to the side when you were talking so I could have like a nice perspective. And that his friend just came. We were talking to him. His friend just came out, gave him his drink, and looked at both of us and went back inside.
No, yeah, I don't. I mean, the thing is, I think psychologically with this guy, he's so big, the chances of people actually talking back to him were low, especially in like Belgium and shit. But yeah. I think when he does get confronted, he's like, shit, I've never gotten this far. What did I do?
What now? Panic. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's when I realized it wasn't a wasted skill, but at the moment that I did move to the Netherlands, I felt like everything I learned, everything that I developed, right, was just gone. No, and people gave me opportunities. Right? So I went to school to learn Dutch, and there were foreigners there. And bro, some of these guys had the most shit attitude I've ever seen in my life.
The thing is, they're born here or like came here when they were like 2, and they raised here, and because they're foreigners, they act all like they're the shit, you know?
Yeah, and the bullshit that they feed like the white people, the white kids there, like they tell them, bro, they give them stories about bullshit, and I know it's bullshit because I can see that he's lying, right? Like, but they're trying to scare them, like tell them, yeah, my dad does this, you know, and I do this and shit. You don't fuck with me and shit, bro. And these, bro, the poor white kids in school, like they would believe everything the foreigners are saying, right?
Yeah,
and that's why they don't fuck with them, and they think they're so cool and shit. And now that they put them on a pedestal, now they have to act that role because they lied. And now, because of that lie, they have to, you know, continue with it. But then you meet someone like me, and you continue lying like that. You stupid.
Yep. Like that, the first American guy I beat up when I moved to Kortrijk, right? Dendermonde. This is a city in Belgium.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was cussing at me, but like it was in Arab, like Moroccan. But I didn't understand this, you know.
Yeah.
And I asked what it meant, and he told me. I'm like, this fucking guy, you know. I told him one more time, if you like say this, you know, beat your ass, you know. Yeah. But I always was like a short kid, and like I looked like chubby and cute, you know. But I'd fuck you up, you know what I mean? Yeah. We were getting out of class, going down the stairs because it was break. And we were in the middle of the stairs and he pushed me. He's like, what you gonna do? And then he cussed at me. I'm like, this fucking guy. And I gave him I gave him a hook. And he like wobbled. And he like ran towards me like, you know how them bitches like throw the fist like you're swimming?
They're like fucking like moving forward.
Swimming in air. Yes. I'm like, what the fuck? I like slip down and like grab his waist, like take him down. And I was like posing on him. Like I don't know, like it's like in full guard. Like my knees were like under his armpits. I like smacked him a couple times. Yeah. And I told him, are you gonna stop? He's like, yeah, I'm sorry. He got up and he tried again. And it's just straight down the middle, like on his nose. So like his eye was, you know how like brown people get swollen instantly.
Yeah, it gets purple.
His eye was like swollen, and he's like had a bloody nose. Yeah. And he didn't snitch though. He didn't snitch, but he came after school with his brother.
Oh wow.
He's like, you come sucker punch my brother. I'm gonna beat your ass. Yeah. I told him I told him, okay, come 1 against 1. I can beat him up if you want. I won 1 against 1, you as well. And he's like, nah, you came from behind to him, blah blah. Nah, I told him the story. What happened? He's like, I'm not gonna fight you, man. Bring your brother. I'm like, if I bring my brother, he's gonna fucking kill you. He's like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from Albania, motherfucker. He's like, oh, brother, we don't want problem. I swear, bro. It's a recurring story every time, bro. Every time. And look, to give you an image of how my brother is. We were biking with my brother, going to the library because they had PCs there and you can be on them for free. We go there, install CSGO 1.6, play, and then go home, you know? We were going back home from the library, and then these like 5-6 guys start following us because we're white, you know, we look like Belgian people.
Yeah.
And start like talking, like playing, and my brother just fucking side kicks somebody from on the bike. My brother, he kicks somebody and he falls. This guy, my brother jumps off the bike. He's like, what the fuck you want? Like in like broken Dutch. Like, what the fuck you want? Why are you following it? Like, leave us alone. And this guy's like, whoa, relax. And then they ask again, where are you from? And when you say we're Albanian, they're like, whoa, bro, brother. Then we went together to a fucking bakery and they bought us like eclairs. I swear to God, it's true story. That's how foreigners are that are born. Most there is some bad motherfuckers as well. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of them that they just take advantage of their origins or whatever. You know?
They just use the name however they want. That's sad though.
Which I feel like brings bad rep to wherever they're from.
Like for example, Moroccans, just as you said, right? Moroccans.
Wasabi. Wasabi.
The reputation of Moroccans in most of these European countries is fucked. Except in France. And France is actually kind of dope. I think all the real Moroccans are here. Because I don't know what it is about France, but
France is the ghetto.
Yeah, they don't stray away from the culture. Like here, the culture is very alive. The Moroccan one, not the bullshit one that they made up in the Netherlands and Belgium and shit. No, in the Netherlands and Belgium, I feel like Moroccans are just so... How do I say this, bro? They're so artificial. Like, they try to force it, you know? Force the fact that they're Moroccan.
It's almost like a character.
Yeah. And it's so like, bro, you grew up in...
But here it's normal, you know?
But I know, it's become normal. But you don't understand the perspective of a real Moroccan. Like, when I see shit like this, or like other Moroccans see shit like this, they're like, what the fuck are you doing? Especially, bro, you know what's funny? You see these kids go to Morocco in summer, right? Or on vacation. Mostly in summer, actually. Yeah. Bro, they're so out of the pic. Like, you can clearly see they're not supposed to be here. They don't look like they fit in here at all, right? And other Moroccans are looking at them. We like immediately know how these guys are from. Like, probably Netherlands or Belgium. It's always those two.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
And, but then there are some, I gotta say, they're not like Moroccans, but bro, there's some badass motherfuckers.
There is. 100%.
Bro, some of them, like, I think they set the precedent and the example for all these other, like, wannabes.
Yeah.
And it's mostly, like, I think it's, like, from, like, the Badr Hari era.
Badr Hari was the shit.
Yeah, dog. That guy was fucking crazy. But yeah, when I first moved here, I got into a lot of fights. Because people would test me, especially these fucking foreign kids who are trying to be foreign. It's funny, but yeah. They try to be something they're not. And I chill. I swear to God, I was never a bully. I'd never pick fights and shit. I'd be chill until someone presses my buttons. Then I'm like, okay, this motherfucker right here. I moved there. Shit ton of fights. Almost every
exactly
day.
Exactly what a bully would say.
Nah, but listen. Definition of a bully in my head is someone that picks on someone that like did nothing to them or like is not affecting them whatsoever. I would never do that.
Yeah.
Actually, I like to get along with people. People that are like. No one talks to them. I'm interested in knowing why, so I go and talk to them. So yeah, but after that, it took me. I got out of that school in like 6 months. I was supposed to be there for like 3 years, but I don't know. I just skedaddled my way out of there. I finished the shit out of it.
Skedaddle.
I left. And I went straight to college to do business. And then when I went to college, that's where I met a lot of white boys, white people in general. Because back in that school, there was only foreigners who were trying to learn Dutch. But you go to college, and I'm 19 at this point. No. I was 18 at this point. And I honestly like Dutch people. Like, I like how they are, right? But you can clearly see some of them are missing some vital points, I guess. I don't know. To me, at least, I would see like, okay, they don't know how to respect another person properly, or they don't know how to treat certain people, or whatever. Right? Like the moment that I saw how they treat teachers and professors, I was like, oh shit! Like this is, I'm not used to this. Right? You're supposed to teach, like anyone that teaches you anything, you treat them with respect.
Yeah.
But then I started connecting the dots, and the more I got to know them, the more I realized how their relationships with their parents are, and how they talk about them is they're so careless, right? What was crazy to me, actually, I'll tell you a story. I met this one girl, right? And she's Dutch 100%, and I couldn't tell if she was flirting with me or not. That was the weird part. Because I'm used to, like, if a girl approaches you and talks to you and shit, like, there's something flirty about it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell if she was just very friendly or she was flirty. And, bro, on the first...
At this point, I just assume they're just friendly.
Yeah. That's a safe way to go. And I also did the same. I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'm going to keep it friendly until she makes a move. But on the first day she talked to me, in the first like 15 minutes, she started telling me about her fucking therapist and the things she goes to therapy for. And I'm sitting there like, hey, yo, what?
Oversharing me like?
But to her, it's so normal, bro. And I'm not the only one she talks to like that. She talks to everyone, like her friends, the girls there, the guys, anyone, like she talk to them normally about therapy and shit. And that's also another thing I noticed. We don't share shit. But to them, it's such an open, normal thing. Everything in their life is open to discussion. So yeah, that's another cultural difference.
So because there is no pressure, bro. Like, be honest. In my fucking country, bro, if you go to a therapist, you're declared crazy by other people.
Yeah, even if it's just
why you need therapists, bro? Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah, that's the same.
Why are you crazy? Therapy is for crazy people.
Yeah.
If you tell somebody I went to therapy, bro, you're crazy.
So, I would say those are the major shifts. Other than that, I loved it once I got integrated into the society because.
Oh yeah, I really like it too here. It's very chill. The pressure is not there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you start to notice. You start to notice that you can let your guard down. I saw that the moment, or those times where I started noticing, okay, I'm too like tensed up all the time. If I just let go, if I just relax and enjoy, let's say, the fucking nature, or talking to people, or enjoying a cup of coffee, or just going out, or whatever, it's so beautiful. Like there's a lot of freedom.
So the thing is, the biggest difference I feel here is that trouble is not searching for you here. If you want to like stay in your business, you're gonna be in your business.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like if you want to look for trouble, there is always trouble everywhere. But here, if you want to do your thing, nobody is going to stop you.
Yeah.
Literally. You can do anything you want. You can say, okay, I'm in love with my chair, and everybody's going to be, okay, good for you.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you. Just, you do you, man. Yeah. So, how's work? Do you take your chair to work? Like, how does it work? Yeah, how does it,
Yeah, there's a lot of.
You could say like it's like people down to earth, but not everybody is down to earth. But nobody gives a fuck about you, which is a good thing.
Which is it gives you a lot of freedom to express yourself.
Yeah, makes a lot of people seem like they're down to earth and stuff, but once you see how they think and how they are, but the good thing is though, they let you do whatever you want because they don't care.
That's exactly what I enjoyed as well.
Yeah. Very good. Very good, very nice.
Very good, very nice.
So yeah, I think this is our first episode that's 1 hour.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think we should.
Honestly, I got lost a little bit because I was just listening to what Jack was saying. Like I've heard these stories 1,000 times, but they're still interesting.
Yeah,
I have like a memory problem, so I forget half the story, you know. So it's like a bit.
No, there's an art to storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So once you master it, everyone's gonna tune in, no matter how many times you tell a story.
What you saying? My stories ain't good.
You got that shit. You got that shit on lock.
Okay. So I think we'll wrap this up. The next episode is gonna be. So we're gonna drop every Wednesday, an episode every Wednesday. So stay tuned, and we'll hear you next time, I guess. Or you're gonna hear us because that's how this works.
I'm just trying to stay silent.
Cut the music. Cut the music, man.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining, for tuning in.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.
Oh yeah. Thanks for ruining my role, man. I was going in for that.
Bro, I'm just being them. So go for it.
I hope you guys enjoy the content.
Yeah, of course we did, man. Always.
I love y'all. Goodbye.
I don't know you. I can't love you, so.
Let's see how it is.
Yeah, maybe not yet, I guess. I don't even know how you look like.
Oh, wow.
Fuck out of here. Oh, you sound sexy, but I don't know.
I catfish your ass. I see you've made it to the end. Your persistence is a pain in the ass, but admirable nonetheless. You're still here, huh? Let me spell it out for you, okay? It's over. You can go about with your lousy life now. There's nothing left to see or hear in these parts of town. I think you've got a hearing problem, pal. That explains how you can listen to all this nonsense. It's either that, or you're asleep at the steering wheel. That didn't end well for the last person that did that.